What is going on, everybody? This is Deal Finding Friday, where we come to you and we show you how to use Privy to get deals the painless way. And I got my main man here, David Lamorte, the truth. What's up, bro?
Doing really good, bro. My girlfriend just randomly sent me pictures of when we went to Utah, so perfect synergy right now. So feeling
Hey,
good because that was a great trip, man.
bro, I love Utah, man. It's a lot of people don't really recognize it for the beauty. It's a beautiful state, you know. A lot it might
Amazing.
not be that cool to party at, but it's cool for like natural, mountains and greenery and scenery, you know.
Yeah, mind blowing, especially on 4th of July. Mind blowing.
I love it. All right, everybody. So if you're watching this, you want to know how to do deals efficiently, effectively, ethically. You want to do deals quick. That's why we're on here. So today I got a case study. I want to show you guys how we use Privy to get a deal in 2 working hours. Okay. It actually took 2 days. But like working hours, it like took 2 hours, but 2 days from finding the deal, assigning it to the buyer, and we didn't technically assign it. We actually worked with another. I'll explain how we did it, but we basically got paid through an invoice. It just closed yesterday. It's getting sent. The checks, the wire's getting sent, and this was for $3,000. Now, a lot of you guys might be like, "Oh, come on, man! I want to see 50K. I want to see 100K." You know, those are cool. Those are called whales. They don't happen every time. What you can do and what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to be, base hit, base hit, base hit. Be efficient, be effective, be consistent, and eventually and occasionally those big whales are going to come along. But you also got to be careful that when people post those big whales, they're showing you that big chunk of change they made, but they don't tell you that maybe it took them a year to do it. Maybe it took them a couple months. And that's happened. When you make big deals, sometimes it takes time. But what we're talking about today is how to do a deal in 2 hours working hours, how to do a deal quick, right? Because sometimes you need money fast. You need money now. I see a lot of people posting like on social media, like, bro, I got no money. I got to make deal. I'm like, well, whatever you're doing is probably not going to help you get a deal that quick. Like, let me help you, right? So I send this out to all the people who, are want to make money fast and they want to use Privy to do it. I'm going to show you exactly how I did it, step for step, so you guys don't have to guess about it. All right. And David, do you have anything you want to add to that? Any questions before we dive in to this
Makes
case study?
perfect. Makes sense, man. I love that you used the expression base hit because that just feels so right. And when you can be consistent, that tells you more about your business. I mean, we've done it right, big checks, 50 grand plus. But there's something to be said for consistent base hits, monthly and ideally weekly
Yeah. Yeah.
and daily.
Daily, hourly, bro. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
That'd
literally.
be tight. So this is the thing, everybody. Like, it does a lot for the mental state too, right? Like I've done big deals and I've had to wait months to do it. And sometimes you just, because you haven't gotten a deal in a while, you're like, man, am I really that good? Do I know what I'm doing? Like you question yourself, even if that big check's coming. But if you can do a tiny deal like this, well, I say tiny, but 3K for some people is great. For me, it's good. Dude, 3K, I'll take it. But
Good.
for
Big
me,
check.
like these help me stay, on top and focus and motivate and be like, oh yeah, it's working, dude. There's deals and I'm in the thick of it. Really helps your mentality. So let's dive into this right here. So this is what happened, everybody. The painless flipping strategy that I teach is, look, there's enough deals that are currently on the MLS that are other wholesalers have. There's deals out there, right? Now you can go ahead and go off market. You can go do your own deals. That's fine. But those usually take more time. I know, you know how I know? Because I've done it. You got to pay. You got to have the lead come in. You got to filter through the leads. If it's cold calling or text, if it's pay per click, you got to get a hold of the person. When it's someone that's on the MLS or if it's someone that a wholesaler has, they've already decided they want to sell. They have like 7 days, that wholesaler, that the agent usually has like maybe a couple of weeks before someone else locks it up or they lose the contract. They want to get this thing sold. So for me, it's like, hey, that is the fastest way to go get a deal. So let me find deals that are already for sale, and then I can bring my buyers. And if I don't have a buyer, I can use Privy. I can use strategies to go find a buyer really quick. So let's talk about this deal. So recently I went to the Orlando market, didn't have any relationships there, but I made a couple of connections to wholesalers and flippers in that area. So I got this lead. Okay. This is the first thing I saw. I said, okay, 745. That's the address. 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So what do we know, David? 3-bedroom, 2 baths are usually pretty desired, right? They rent good. People are interested. 1,296 square feet. pretty standard in Florida, year built. It's a little older, but definitely can work. So first thing I do, I take a look at the lead. I say, okay, this is viable. They're asking for 215. Let me see if that's even like if the ARV is 350 and if these guys are just kind of pulling my chain and trying to sell a deal that doesn't make sense. I have to check. So first thing I do is, man, I go to Privy super fast. I just type in the address of the property and I press search and it pops up the property. Let's see. You might have to press enter or refresh. Hold on. It was up before, everybody.
Yeah, that's what sometimes happens when you go and come back out.
Okay, let's see where to go. All right, hold on. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. Searches. No. All right. There it is. Okay. So it's super easy with Privy because all you do is you scroll to the bottom and it already runs the comparables for you. So I want to see what's sold in this area and I can obviously expand it out if I want, right? I can look at like more comps, but you got active. So I'll look at active because this might be something that's currently been flipped. It's listed currently at 355. Okay. So when they said that the ARV of the house was 350. I don't know if they're basing off of that, but let's go back to solds. So we got 330. Let's take a look at the 330. Let's see if it's giving us any picks. Okay, it usually gives picks. Let's take a look at this one. 265. So that's not good for me. If this thing's been flipped, that's not the best situation. And this one is not really a comparable, I would say, just because it's kind of a lot smaller. But let's actually expand that. Let's see. Let's expand this to 1 mile and let's see what we can get with that. Okay, so we're getting a little bit more love. And when you're doing comps, you got to be careful. You don't like when you cross main roads and stuff, sometimes like something can be way nicer over here than over there. But anyway, because I know this area after working this deal, I found out that's pretty similar past that main road. So 355. There are some smaller comps, but again, like without the pictures, David, it's actually kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
But let's see. Let's go back to actives. I think actives might have more picks for us. Okay, so that's 414. That's like way out there. 300. Let's see, 275. Let's see. Okay. So by looking at this information, I swear there were pictures when I looked at it before. I don't know what happened. But anyway, I looked at this and I said, look, I don't really think the ARV is like 350. I think the ARV is probably like 315. That's what I decided after taking a deeper look at properties in the area. I was like 315, 320. So then what I do is I go to analyze the deal quickly. I'm just like, okay, is this a deal if someone flips it? So if we go here, they have pictures. I'm not gonna go show them, but the property wasn't that bad. Okay, so it needed maybe like a light or medium rehab. So I go in here in my spreadsheet and I say, can my flipper make money if we go and if I send them this deal? So let's say 320 is the ARV, and they're asking for 215. Okay, that's what they want. So you got your hard money costs. It's a light rehab, so it's not going to take that long, 4 months. And then the commissions I put at 3, just because most people that flip, they list, they just have to pay the buyer's commission. And I say, let's say this thing is a basic rehab. Okay, well, let's actually go medium on it. So if this is a medium rehab, this is a good deal. At 3, even if 320 is the ARV. If the 320 is not the ARV and it's like 300. It's still pretty decent because people will do deals that are like around 10%. But let's just say 310. Okay, so it's a good deal at 315. So I was like, okay, this is something we would work, right? David, would you look at this and be like, okay, this is worth reaching out to some people and seeing if my buyers and see if they'd want it?
Yeah, definitely.
Right on.
Especially with you're in about above 10%. I mean, you're right in there, and yeah,
right in the thick of it. So that's
conservative too.
Yeah, and that's why I decided, I was like, let's work this one. Now, sometimes the prices can be inflated, like when wholesalers send out deals, and you can be like, that's not worth working. But still, like you want to get the scoop. And I knew the scoop on this one. They had it a little bit more discounted. Well, they had it obviously discounted. They're trying to make a fee, so I knew there was room to work. And sometimes wholesalers will inflate their numbers so much that there is spread. They're just trying to get, they're trying to get crazy and make a huge fee. So don't always let the numbers stop you from working the deal, especially if you can reach out to that wholesaler and be like, hey, I'm going to work it, but is there spread in case we got to renegotiate? But the next step in order to that was the first step. So that took, finding the wholesaler that had the deal and then analyzing the deal probably took me like 25 minutes, right? We just did it right here really quick, but obviously I had to call, I had to make the relationship. Didn't take that long. Then it was time to go find a buyer. So what did we do? Well, what you do is if you don't already have buyers that meet that criteria or that like to buy in the area, what you do is you reach out to these properties that are listed and you want to know if they're being flipped. So I'm assuming this one has been being flipped because it's a little higher end, 355. We can't see pics for some reason. We usually can, but let's just assume this one's being flipped. I would call the real estate agent on this property. And I would say, hey, I have a house right around the corner. Looks like your flipper is about to sell this thing, or you got it listed. Do you know if he's wanting anything else? Pretty much it. I got some right around the corner. And now let's say this buyer that she represents is like, already saw that deal, right? You would say, hey, no, I totally get that. It's fine that you saw this deal. So what I do is, I go to bat and I get it at a price that makes sense. You don't have to worry about negotiating. And I actually even know I can get you a little bit better of a discount. Just tell me what, if your buyer's interested, and then we can go from there. So you kind of like want to bring that value add if they've already seen it, right? And if they're like, dude, I'm already talking to the person that has it, obviously you're just gonna be like, okay, I get it. But if they haven't, then it's like, well, look, I can help you navigate this. And, the way we worked this deal is we just connected them to the wholesaler, and then we had the buyer sign a invoice, and he just paid us at close. Actually, the title company sent us the wire for the close, so he didn't even have to worry about it. They took care, they facilitated everything. The title company doesn't go on the HUD or anything. It's just like, hey, here's a marketing, consultation fee. So we got look at this property. We were able to find a buyer. Now, we didn't actually find the buyer from calling the agent. We actually researched the person that bought it, LLC. We opened corporates, and then we did True People search, and we just looked for the person that owned the LLC. Let's see. I think it's property history.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just go here to the buyer, and you reach out to the guy that bought it. This is that'd be Paul. And if it is an LLC, then you can do the research. But it looks like Paul bought it. We call him. Hey, Paul, you looking for something else? This might not be a flipper, just again because we can't see the pics. But that's pretty much it, guys. Like in a nutshell, it went from seeing the property, right, seeing the opportunity, then running analysis quickly to see if it's worth my time, and then I basically just said, okay, Privy, help me run that analysis. I did use the comparable thing. Then I reached out to my buyers and buyers that were in the surrounding areas, got someone that said yes. He put down his non-refundable earnest money within like an hour, $7,500, signed the paperwork with the wholesaler, and then we had him sign the invoice, and we got paid $3,000 and for 2 hours, no expenses or anything, no marketing spend. Got that done. And we got a couple more in the pipeline just for doing this. So how does this work? You want to be in a market in an area that obviously has deals, right? And there's deals galore in Florida, Atlanta, in these markets that there's a lot of properties that need to be fixed up. Texas, I mean, you name it. There's deals and there's buyers. What was I going to show you guys? Let's see. So numbers, I wanted to kind of share this with you guys too. So if you're like, what are activities do I need to do in order to get this done? Like I made a little spreadsheet that kind of explains how many activities you have to do a day in order to complete one deal, either one deal, or if you want to get to 100K in a year, making an average of 5K, even if you want to make it 10K, whatever, it just breaks it down. So knowing your numbers, everybody, is extremely important to hitting your goals. And if you're like sitting there like, man, I haven't done a deal in a year, and it probably comes down to the amount of activities that you're doing and if you're doing the right activities. But yeah, David, do you have anything you want to say? I know I've been kind of yapping.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. And we recently just had a conversation about quality over quantity. First separating that and then putting those together ultimately. But you really want to get an understanding of what it is to reach out quality wise, because even in a method like this, like Nathan was saying, you're coming to the deal with the table. It's already they already decided that they were gonna buy. And guys, even deals like this don't always go through. I mean, if you've done any off market stuff, you know that those deals don't go through. And even when you're this far in the process, sometimes that doesn't even happen. So think about when you're doing off market, how much you have to do to even be on this level. So
Yeah.
when you're dealing with these are, more quality leads of people who want to actually sell. So it's kind of a different game.
Yeah, no, great input, David. And everybody that's like watching this, I just want to let you guys know that not every deal that an agent's going to send you or a wholesaler is going to send you is a good deal. Good deals don't just like appear. A lot of people, like when they start this business, like, man, I can't find any good deals. It's like, bro, it's not so much that you find good deals, you make good deals happen. So for example, if this deal wasn't a good deal, I wouldn't just say, okay, this deal sucks. I would go back, I'd find out where my buyer wanted to be, and I'd say, hey, wholesaler, my buyer wants to be at 190. You're asking for 215. That's not going to work. Can you get it for less than 190 so we can get paid? And then, we'd make that deal happen. Right. And then he'd go back to that seller and be like, look, we've sent this to all our people. Nobody's interested unless it's for less, like, or I can't make it happen for unless it's, 180. That's like, you got to make deals happen. And they just don't, you don't just talk to a seller and then automatically they're asking for like 50K less, than what you're able to do the deal for. Like, that's not always going to happen. So just get that out of your head that like things just fall into place. You have to make them happen. You got to negotiate, you got to talk, and you got to, you got to run your numbers. You got to take action. Right.
That's right.
So I'm trying to think of anything else that I wanted to lay out, but Privy is an integral part. Like, it's a really important part of the process, guys, because like I said, it helps you run the comps, and then it helps you find the buyer by just looking at, reaching out to the agents or the LLCs that purchase the properties that look like they've been flipped there. It's as simple as that. So you need to be able to just go get the leads, network, and then go, start analyzing and doing that. So I want to show you guys, I made a little spreadsheet to kind of, not spreadsheet, like timeline to kind of help you guys through, like do this process. I'll go through it really quick, but I want to just nail on one point that will change and help everybody in their process. So first, you got to pick your market, and you don't want to be all over the place. You want to pick your market and set a goal to what you're trying to do. You want to find and get your buyer's criteria. You want to go to an area, start understanding what people are buying. And this, there's multiple ways to find buyers. They're all here. You want to search for deals. Okay. You can search on Privy. You can do online platforms, real estate agent, wholesalers. You want to analyze the deal. I just showed you, I use the calculator and I use Privy, and, and there's KPIs. You want to bring those deals to your buyers. Say, hey, buyer, what would you pay? Okay. That's it. What would you pay for this? You want to make the offer that the buyer gives you to the agent, to the wholesaler, and say, hey, this is what they can do. They're taking care of my fee, or, hey, let's split this fee 50-50. You negotiate whatever you want to make. Then you get closed, and then you get the check. And then the goal is, one close per week after you do this continuously. But the more you do this in a market, the better you're going to get, the better buyers you're going to get. So the one thing I want to focus on right now, before we wrap up this call, everybody watching or will watch, is this, everybody. Picking your market. It's extremely important to pick the right market and work in one market or two, one or two, but you can't be all over the United States. It's going to be impossible to generate and develop amazing relationships with buyers all over the United States. It's just too hard. I tried it. I did nationwide for like 2 years. I don't remember tons of buyers. It was kind of hard to sell deals because we're all over the place. And I see people, David, that try to dispo other people's deals, but they're trying to dispo people's deals all over the country. It's like, good luck. You're all over the place. It's going to be very, very difficult. And not only that, but they're sometimes trying to dispo deals that are in the middle of terrible markets, like terrible areas where flippers they're not interested in flipping, or there's not enough flippers. There's not a high enough population where people are moving in and out, where flipping activity is huge. So I just want to let everybody know that you need to be in a highly populated area if you want to do this strategy, right? If you want to do off market, then you can roll the dice and try that anywhere. But if you do this, where you're helping move other people's deals quickly using Privy, using the strategy, you need to be in an area where there's a lot of deals to look at.
100%.
Yes. Okay, let's see. Someone asked in the comments, how do I get access to this calculator? You know what? I probably shouldn't have shown the calculator because everybody's going to want it. I don't give it out.
Everybody loves that calculator.
Yeah. If you're talking about the goal setting calculator, like this thing, to like, where the heck did that thing go? I don't give this out. This is just kind of for the people that I work with that do the strategy. But if you're talking about this thing, I do give out the wholesale analysis calculator. It just lets you analyze a wholesale deal. It doesn't like do flips or novations or burrs or anything else. If you want that, I have a free masterclass that I teach, and I give away this tab for free to at the masterclass. You can just go to the Facebook group, Payneless Flipping. It's at the bottom. You can join that, and that's how we'll get you this calculator for anyone that attends. You can check that out. It's free. Just go to the Facebook group or just type in painlessflipping.com. It's yours. We'll hook it up. But I just want everyone to just feel my passion and my fire. Guys, I've done deals that have taken 2 years. I just closed on one that took 2 years to do because it went through probate. It was crazy. And I ended up making like $7,000. No, it was $10,000 on it. But 2 years to make 10K, and I just made 3, and it probably could have been more, right? Because I could have asked for bigger than 3. I could have asked for 5, whatever. But yeah, man, it's just, you want speed. Speed is the key in this game. If it takes forever to do a deal, like that can really not kill your motivation. So if you guys want that speed, this is definitely a good strategy. Now, one thing I want to say is I do not just send out deals that aren't mine to my buyers without the permission of the agent, without the permission of the wholesaler, whoever has the deal. That's called daisy chaining, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, I know this guy. I know David. So David, hey man, you got any deals that you need help moving? That's what we're talking about. And you're like, yeah, that's cool, man. Because if you go work a deal, you don't know the person, you're just trying it. You could be working that deal for a week or 2 days or even 2 hours. And then you call, hey, I got a buyer for you. They're like, what are you talking about, man? I just forgot to take that off of my platform. That was sold months ago, or it's already sold. Now, yeah. The cool thing about the one that we were talking about, David, this one that we did, it came out pretty hot. Like it came out that day, and then I think we tried it that day. And that same day, there was another buyer that came in at 215. Our guy actually offered 210. And they went with our offer versus the 215 because our guy bought it sight unseen, and he put down his earnest money within an hour, within 2 hours. Nice. So to the other guy that was going to pay 215, he was like, well, I need to go walk it first. So the wholesaler we're working with was willing to just be like, oh yeah, we'll forego the 5 just because,
sure thing.
It's
people want a sure thing, man. If you can bring that to the table and make people feel comfortable that, hey, because that's a lot of what this business is. Can you make it happen? Because there's a lot of people who say a lot of things, but don't even happen. So when you can make it happen, that's value you're bringing big time. Don't underestimate that,
It's the sure thing, bro. And I'm telling you right now, like that's, I think, one of the biggest issues that a lot of wholesalers have that are new. They just lock up stuff and they try to act like they're sure. Bro, they're the farthest thing from sure. I used to do it too, bro. I used to do a lot. I would lock up a property and I wouldn't even be excited, bro. I'd be like, I hope I can sell this. And
that's 100%.
And that's the worst feeling, dude. There's nothing worse than a seller being like, okay, I'm ready to go. Let's sign. And you're like, yeah, okay. So I like to be transparent with sellers. We just had this seller that we're talking to off market they were like, yeah, we really need 380. And it was looking tight, dude. Like 380 might not work. So instead of being like, yeah, we can do it, we said, this is what we said to him. We said, hey, 380 is kind of tight. that's not going to work for us, but we have a large network of cash buyers. We know, what we can do is we can put this under contract and give us 5 days, and we'll reach out to our network and see if anyone's willing to pay 380, and we'll let you know. So that way it's fully transparent, it's locked up, and they know what's happening, right? So they're not going to be there at the end of the 5 days, like, all their stuff is packed and they're ready to move and be like, let's go. They're going to know exactly what's going on. So I like to do that in situations where deals are tight. Now, if it's a deal that is extremely discounted and it's a great deal, then obviously it's like, hey, I'm either buying this or someone's picking it up. So that's not a problem. But I'd say 90% of the people you talk to, it's like tight deals, because when you run into people that are like, they're already asking for lower where it makes sense. Like, yeah, that doesn't happen that often. So anyway, that's what I wanted everyone to know. I got some people watching on the live. Hey, if you have any questions or comments, throw it in there. And if not, you can always find us on the Payneless Flipping. We do this every Friday where we try to break deals down. Guys, the goal for me is to help you do a deal, because there's too many people I meet that haven't done their first deal. They've been in this for a year, six months, 3 years, and analysis paralysis. And it's as simple as knowing what someone wants to buy and go finding it and saying, hey, I got something for you. What would you pay? And then connecting the dots. There's nothing too crazy. It's just finding the opportunity and using your time wisely. You got to use your time wisely.
Yes, 100%. And I would say you want to make sure, the basics are important, understanding what a house is worth by comping it. Privy is a huge help to do that. You want to make sure that you're matching bed and bath. You want to make sure that you're really comping, and then understanding from the investor's point of view. They usually want to make 10% or more. So, keep those things in mind, and those basics matter.
They're back to the basics, right? All right. Well, I think the chat, not a lot of questions are coming through on the chat. Let's see. Let me check here. I started going live on TikTok, bro, because I finally, like, once you get over 1,000 TikTok followers,
Let's go.
You can go live. So finally, this is okay. This girl says, can you wholesale every of you're not in the same in that's okay. Can you wholesale even if you're not in that state? Dave, do you want to take that one? Do you want to answer that for our girl right here? I don't know her name, but yeah. Can you wholesale if you're not in the state?
So 100%, you can. We've both done it. We know a lot of people who've done it, and people who exclusively just do it virtually. I do virtual, even though I do local here. Especially, you're not an agent, you're not a licensed real estate agent, which that you're maybe thinking about something different, which might prohibit you in certain ways. But since you're not a licensed real estate agent, you're an investor, and you're just straight up Americans are able to work with each other and contract out to each other, especially business wise. So, you recommend the LLC, but yes, you can 100% virtual wholesale and wholesale in other markets. You want to have good relationships. Doesn't mean it's 100% easy, but can you legally do it? Yes, you can.
There you go. Nailed it, bro. I agree. And by the way, everybody, this deal, me and David at the beginning of this call, we're talking about, I live in Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm currently in Utah. And this deal is that we just did is in Florida. It's in Melbourne, Florida. David, I've never been to Melbourne, Florida. I have no idea where it is.
I know my neighbors moved there back in the day. That's all I know.
Yeah. So to answer your question, everybody's question, like, David, I don't even know what this house really looks like, man. Like, I see this picture, but I told you I saw pictures. I can't even really remember them. Like, imagine doing this business, everybody, and not even really knowing or caring what the house looks like. That's not on you. That's on your buyer to be like, yeah, I like that, right? You obviously want to give them something that the numbers make sense, but really it's up to them. So never been to that area. Don't know what the house looks like. Don't know what it smells like. Didn't have to walk it. Everything all virtually, all over the phone. It's honestly kind of crazy, man, that you can do that. You don't have to even get up out. I did this all from my office, like I'm just playing 100%. Some drums and chilling, working, calling. What else? Let's see if there's anything else that came in.
Yeah, conversations are valuable. I mean, we have all this stuff now, photos and technology, but I mean, not too long ago, everything was done with conversations, and people are afraid to have conversations. So if you can come in, have a conversation where that person can describe to you what the property is like. Maybe you can even have a conversation to have them get photos that maybe somebody doesn't have access. It might be not on the MLS yet. Maybe they just have it in their email, and you can help them. Okay, send me an email. So whatever you can do to work with them, because sometimes things are available. They're just not, everybody's not, a super well-oiled machine where their photos go right out there. They have links ready to go. I mean, how many people you speak with, you're like, oh, I'm interested in that property. The agent's like, actually, I kind of don't even know about that one. Or the
Mhm.
wholesaler's like, actually, we just have it under contract. I don't know, and I'll get back to you. And now you just flipped it, and now they're looking at you like, oh, this must be a real buyer. Like,
Yeah,
I'm going to get them. And now they're trying to validate you.
that's right.
So,
Yeah.
exactly,
Providing that value right there. All right, man. Well, there's one last question coming in. It says, how do you obtain a proof of funds letter when wholesaling on market? Quickly, I'll answer this. Hard money lenders. That's where I got my proof of funds letter. You reach out to hard money lenders in your area or someone you know, check Facebook groups and just say, hey, look for a proof of funds letter. Any hard money lenders I can talk to. Hard money lender will send it to you. He'll, because in all reality, a hard money lender is going to fund you if it's a good deal. But anyway, answers your question. And we are out of here. I got another call. I got to hop on. David, actually, you remember that deal in that I told you about in Florida that my brother-in-law had?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's calling me right now. So let's see if we can work that one together. Everybody, peace out. We'll see you on next Deal Finding Friday. Later.